Hello, everyone. Very good morning. And I am Debjani from Instrucko. So, this is the very first time I'm meeting you all, and it's lovely to have you all here. So, we will not waste any more time and we will start with our this training session. So, firstly, I would like to, introduce today's topic through a word game. So it is, this word game is basically nothing but I will share a word with you and you will just have to express your thoughts or whatever you link, you can relate something with that word. So that you have to say. It is no competition or nothing else. We just share our thoughts and we will just continue. And I will request everyone to participate. If you want, you can note down that and or else you can just say it verbally also. uh Hello, am I audible to everyone? I want an active participation from everyone, please. Okay, so I would like to share my screen. So basically, I would like to also mention that this word game is about a word and see, we can relate, a single word in a different way. So one person say, I'm saying a word blue. So one person can relate to the word saying the sky is blue, and the other person can say the sea is blue. So that is our perception, and this way we can just get to know each means everyone's thought process, because every individual think differently or sometimes you may think alike. So we will just see how we can relate to these words. These are very interesting words. So let's start with our game. I'm sharing my screen with you. Is my screen visible to all?
Not yet. Yeah, now it is.
Okay, so our first word is reflection. I'm giving you a few seconds to think, and then you can just tell me how you relate to this word.
We cannot see ourselves, rather only the reflection.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
We could see only the reflection of ourselves. We can't see our face.
Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else?
Our thoughts reflects into actions.
Great.
Thank
Okay. Next, who would like to share?
I saw the reflection on the mirror.
Lovely. Wonderful. Next, anyone else?
Our face is the reflection of our mind.
Wow, great, great thought. Lovely thought. So we can see and how we can relate to this word in a different way. Okay. So I'm going to our next word. This is experience.
Experience is a great teacher.
Okay, great. Next, anyone else? Who would like to say? What do you think about experience?
Experience is the best teacher in everyone's life.
Wonderful. Great. Next, anyone else? Anyone else who would like to share?
Experience helps you to learn life, ma'am.
Wonderful. Great. Great thought. So I'm moving to the next word. Next is self-assessment.
Before we teach someone, the self-assessment is very important.
Wonderful. Next, anyone else? Yes, Anu. Would anyone like to share what you think about self-assessment?
Self-assessment is a way to self-development.
Great. Lovely. So next, I'm moving to our next word, that is evaluation. Yes, please. Who would like to say?
So when we evaluate our children's performance, we are also evaluating our effectiveness as a teacher.
Great. It's a good thought process. Next,
Self-evaluation always will lead a person in the success path.
wonderful. Great. Is there anyone else who would like to share your thought on this word? How you can relate?
Evaluation helps us to progress.
Great. So I'm moving to the next word, which is practice.
Practice makes a man perfect.
Okay. Next,
Practice is a process. Practice is a process.
wonderful. Anyone else?
Practice with the C is a noun and practice with the S is a verb.
Great. Lovely. So our next
Practice
word
leads
is
you to success.
wonderful. Great.
Practice
So our
leads you
next
to
word
success,
is
ma'am.
improvement.
Improvement comes only by practicing.
Great. So this is how we are relating to, each and every word. This each and every word is relate to each other. Next, anyone else?
There's always a scope for improvement.
Wonderful. Next, Please share your thoughts who have not even means like said anything. Please come forward and share your thought. Is anyone interested to say anything on this, or we can go to the next word? Okay. Next is success.
Success is not a destination.
Lovely. Next.
Success is a journey.
Wonderful. Next.
Success is not a one-time thing.
Okay. Next, anyone else?
Success equals sacrifice.
Great. Our next word is wisdom. And this is our last word. So please share your thought on this.
Wisdom is an abstract noun.
Next.
Bliss through wisdom.
Great. Next. Is there anyone who would like to say anything about this word?
Wisdom helps us to make good judgments, ma'am.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Wisdom helps us to make good judgments, ma'am.
Okay, great. Wonderful. Anyone else who would like to share your thought?
Wisdom comes from experience.
Wonderful. So thank you so much. It's very interesting to know each and everyone's thought process on different words that I have shared with you. So basically, we can see that these words relate to each other. And as I mentioned earlier, that, I would like to introduce the today's topic through these words. So these are basically the key words for our today's topic, which is the reflective practice. So which is, I'm just giving you a one-liner short introduction of this reflective practice. What is that? It is nothing but a systematic process of self-examination. So, and we have to just look back on our experience so that we can understand the situation and think and make informed decision and to take action based on that. So it is nothing but to, we can implement this reflective practice in each and every areas of our life. So main aim is to nothing but to enhance our personal and the professional development, okay, and improve how we can improve our performance. So I would like to, request Shreyasi, who will take over and will explain the detail about this reflective practice. Thank you.
Thank you, Debjani. Hi, everyone. I'm Shreyasi. I think I've met some of you all in the previous sessions, and some faces are new. So I'll be walking you through the technical and the terms of all these, all of the topic that Debjani mentioned. But before that, I have one request to all the teachers. First is to turn on your cameras and turn on your mics whenever you would like to share anything with me. And another is teachers who are sharing the screen, like 3 teachers, 2 teachers I can see. Please put your name, all the names, on your screen. So you can go to edit and you can write all the 3 names so that it's easier for me to like get acquainted with all the names, right? You can just do it while I start speaking. So I'm going to share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, now it is visible.
Okay. So the topic that we are going to discuss today is teacher facilitator of learning. So basically, how you as a teacher, we as educators are the facilitator of learning. So the word facilitator is something that is related to all the words that you just were introduced to in your word game. All those words are come under this umbrella called facilitator. Improvement, self-assessment, self-introspection, all of these words come under facilitator. Does anyone want to say anything about the word facilitator? Does anyone want to share any idea with me of what you think is a facilitator's job, role?
Facilitate the children.
Yeah, okay, nice. So facilitate the children, that is basically help the child or give that extra push to the child to achieve the best version of himself or herself, right? You should be the first person the child confides in, right? You should be the one whom the child can show its strength as well as his or her weakness, so that you can guide the child perfectly. So the very first thing that I would like to say is about reflection. Like Debjani mentioned, reflective practices is the main focus of our discussion today. So reflection, this word has so many meanings, so many approaches, and it is the most important. It is the key factor in this facilitation process. So before you start giving the child a push, before you start giving that child the boost of confidence that the child needs, you have to first prepare yourself. That is reflection. There was the word experience in the game, and everyone gave such wonderful like shared all these wonderful lines relating to experience, I remember. But I would like to say that even though we are very used to hearing this thing that experience is the best teacher and we learn from our experiences, there is this one word that is actually silent in this entire sentence, but is the very important word. It's actually the main word in the sentence, that is reflecting on our experiences. So if we go through an experience, for example, and we just let it be, like I went through the experience, I faced it, I lived it, and that's it. What did I learn from it? The moment I turn back and I look at the experience and I try to figure out what I learned from the experience, why did that happen, what can I do to make sure it doesn't happen again, is the part called reflecting. And that is the most important part. That is the part which is going to help us reevaluate, understand, bring out better judgment, and make sure that we learn from the experience. There is this very famous quote, as you can see in my slide, which is by John Dewey. We do not learn from experience, we learn from reflecting on the experience. So this is very important. We have to remember that reflecting is completely our own job. Reflecting should come from within and not some external person. It's not the job of anyone. Even for children, you can help them, you can guide them, you can teach them. But to help them understand what is reflecting, you'll have to actually show them that you are doing it for yourself as well. So it is a very individual thing that everyone needs to do. Now, there are some key points that are related to this word reflecting. One is continuous self-assessment and evaluation. Like we went through the word game, right? These were the words that you actually came across: self-assessment and evaluation. You all even suggested these in your sentences. So self-assessment and evaluation is like something that we should do every day. I feel we should do every day. At the end of the day, you should be aware that these are the things that I did. These were the outcomes that came from my actions. And if you have any thoughts that this might have been better if I would have done it in a different way, that is your reevaluation, that is your self-assessment, and that is a lot. That is a lot for you to make that difference, to make yourself better. Next is identifying strengths and weaknesses. This is very important. In everywhere nowadays, when someone is even hiring someone, for even children going through small interviews in school, this is like a very key question that everyone faces: strengths and weaknesses. Why do you think we put so much uh, focus, so much emphasis on this one part? Why is it so necessary for us to be aware of our strengths and weaknesses? And even though it sounds not that difficult when I'm saying it out loud, but when someone asks you about your strengths and weaknesses, trust me, it is very difficult to actually say it out loud. So I would like to ask any one of you to share your strength or weaknesses. This is just me trying to establish that these two things are very important, but at the same time very tricky for us to actually understand for ourselves. We can always point out things in the person standing in front of us, but it is very difficult to actually know those things in us, within us. So anyone who would like to say their strengths or weaknesses, anything. I can see Devika ma'am's name. So would you please like to share with us anyone, either a strength or a weakness that you feel you know about, you are aware about? Devika ma'am. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, Shreyasi.
Okay. Okay, Priya ma'am, would you like to say something? Anyone? Yes, Priya ma'am. Thank you for turning on your cameras. I was waiting to see some faces.
Ma'am, according to me, strength, would I say, is like, I think that I'm good at phonics and I'll be able to teach a lesson uh, very well. So that would come. But when it comes to teaching, suddenly we lag behind and we think of the syllable, how to teach the kids suddenly. If it is a three-letter syllable or a two-letter, how to explain them. Suddenly we get stuck up there. So I think that is my weakness when it comes to while taking a lesson or when writing a notes. So that you split the syllabus and teach the kids in a right way. So these are my strengths and weaknesses.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. So see, this is what we are talking about. This is what we are going to actually speak about: knowing yourself. Because since you know that, yeah, this is my weakness, and you could actually say it out loud, you would automatically start working on the path to actually know how you can do better, what you can do to, like, you will start searching, you will start talking to people, maybe you will start asking your students. There are so many ways to actually overcome your weaknesses, but to do that, first we have to actually be aware of the weaknesses and put our strengths to the fullest, to use our strengths to the fullest. Anyone else who would like to share? Also, please make sure that you have written all the names like I mentioned. Please write all of your names on the screen. Okay, so moving forward, the last point is exploring new ideas and thought processes. All of these are interlinked, if I can say. Like ma'am shared that she has a strength and a weakness. So now that she's aware of her weaknesses and strengths, she can explore new ideas, like I mentioned. She can actually search, she can uh, try out different methods. There are so many methods that we know of. She can try out different methods and see which one works best for her. She can always speak to her peers, colleagues, and she can try to be like overcome the weakness and thought processes, explore thought processes, think of new ideas. You can be the one who can come up with a solution for a weakness that everyone tries to overcome. So it all starts with self-assessment, right? Now, wisdom was another word that was in the game, and everyone said so many things about wisdom. One that I remember is wisdom is an abstract noun, which was very, very witty, if I can say. So, for this wisdom word, there are like three ways where we can achieve it, how we can gain wisdom. First one is reflection, which is the noblest method. Why the noblest method? Because it is completely on us. Like I said, this starts from us, this ends with us. We are the one who have the complete power in assessing ourselves, and we are the one who has the complete authority to change ourselves. So reflection is the noblest method. Second one is imitation. Now, what is imitation? Imitation is when you have an idol. So if you follow someone, if you uh, if you are inspired by someone's word, the way they teach, the way they speak, the way they execute things, you can always follow their path. Imitation is not just copying someone, it's getting inspired by someone. Even though the word can give you the idea that it is saying that you follow someone blindly, it's not that. It's basically taking inspiration from someone. That is how you can gain wisdom, which is the easiest. Why? Because you are just following someone's path, which is not wrong, which is fine. It is completely your choice again. And the third is by experience, which is the bitterest, because experiences are not always fun and nice. There is a huge mix. There are ups and downs, but experience is like the very strict teacher whom we all had once in our life, but whose teachings we still remember. That is experience for us. So we are going to focus on reflection, the first way of gaining wisdom in this entire discussion, reflection. So by involving in reflective practicing, you not only improve your own self and your future growth, but also do it through the noblest way. That is, you have the complete authority. You can do it at your own pace. You can do it at your own convenience, with your own comfort. It is you who are helping yourself, right? Now we come to the main crux, which is why is reflection so important? What do reflection provide us with? There are so many things that reflection is going to walk you through and help you out. So I actually want you all to take this session not just as a session where I'm speaking and giving you big terms, but as a session that you all are going to start putting to use the moment it is done. It's not just a day that you take classes. It should be a day which is your off day as well. You are taking a rest day. Even on that day, try to just walk yourself through your entire day and think about what you have done. It does not have to relate to your teachings all the time either. This is almost like this is a personality development session as well. This will help you understand yourself. Teaching is a very challenging job. Everyone knows. So making it easier is what we are trying to do. Making it fun is what we are trying to do, and making it easier for ourselves is what we are trying to do. Now, reflection merges theory and practice. Like I said, this particular session is completely depending on how you are going to put this to use, put this to practice. This session should actually, this has nothing to do with you teaching in your class. I don't think this is something that you need to teach your students. This is something you need to start practicing yourself, and it will reflect. And your students will pick it up from your actions, right? So your theory and your practice should merge, should actually link up. Whatever you are thinking in your mind, whatever you reflect someday, whatever you go through and understand that, yeah, these are the things that I would like to do in some certain other way, should actually reflect on the other day or the next few days. You should actually do something about it. That is what it means. Next is, one second. Okay. Now, next is encourages collaborative dialogue for more skillful approaches. What is collaborative dialogue? It's basically you speaking with your students and your colleagues to get feedback. Collaborative dialogue is going to help you upskill yourself by getting constructive criticism. This is something that everyone is a bit shy, maybe, or not everyone can take it in a positive way. But I would like to tell you all how important it is to get feedbacks. And even though not all feedbacks are going to be positive, trust me, feedbacks are going to help you improve in a huge manner. Feedbacks can be, but both the feedbacks are important. You can't just keep giving someone negative feedback as to what they need to do better at or what they need to change. You have to keep a balance. If you are on the other side, like giving the feedback, you have to keep a balance. You have to always appreciate that person as well, and let that person know that, yeah, this is something that you can work on. This is something you can like try to do it in this way. You can always put ideas as well. So help each other out. This is what I try to say. This is what I'm trying to say. For colleagues, I'll say try to share your class experiences. So for example, if someone has had a very difficult class and some other teacher goes to the same class in the next period and has a great class, now what you can do is you can share your experience. The one who has a great class can actually tell how the class was great, why the class was great, you interacting with them, or maybe you have used something in the class that made the children excited or the children more interested in the class. And someone who had a very tough class, like children didn't want to listen, they were all jumpy, she can share that why. How did that happen? What did she go through your class? So sharing ideas can help both of you. One would know what to do and one would know what not to do, right? You can help each other out. It's not something you should feel like, oh no, I'm putting out my weaknesses in front of everyone. I was not good at taking the class. You shouldn't feel that way. You should feel like I'm sharing and the other person is also sharing and we are going to help each other out. Is there any experience like this? Does anyone have any experience like this? Like someone had a good class, very good class, and the same class acted in a very different way with some other teacher. Any experience like this? Okay. I remember my own classroom, like when I was a student. So our classroom, I am going to tell you the students' perspective here. So I remember our class being very, very calm and attentive during our English classes. And our class being very unruly, like people would walk up from their places, students would just run around, shout, keep talking in our history classes. So from a student's perspective, I can tell you why was the English class so why were we so calm and attentive? We were the same students, We were the same class. Why were we so calm in the English class? Was because our English teacher, I remember, used to be very expressive. She radiated so much energy that we had to be quiet. We were like someone with such a strong personality. She had a very loud voice. Like, she was not shouting at us, but she had a very clear and loud voice. She used to use all these examples from her own life. Like, she used to say, I went to that shop yesterday and this happened, and she used to connect the entire lesson with that. And we used to have so much fun that we did not have any chance to speak about anything else. I did not feel like talking to my friend at that time. But our history teacher, what she used to do was, she was also very nice. She was polite. She was very nice, calm. She would always answer to our questions. But the energy that she radiated was so calm that we had this urge to make the class more, what do I say, energetic. Maybe we used to shout, and we were like, no, like, we had to do something to make the class feel more energetic. But that teacher was very calm. So this is from the students' perspective. What I feel is, if the teachers would have like spoken with us, maybe, or maybe spoken with each other, we would have given our feedback, and the teachers would have also shared their feedbacks. So, like, our history teacher, I am not asking her to become like our English teacher, but what she could have done is, maybe she could have brought some visual aids. We had smart boards. She could have brought some PPT. She could have added some life experiences as well in her classes, that which would have like made us feel like, yeah, she's trying to put that effort. So this is something that I shared from the student's perspective. So all of this is going to be more clear if you actually put it out in front of others. You have to speak, you have to share. You have to share with your colleagues, you have to share with your students as well. Next is ignites a sense of efficacy. So this is something that is going to be inspiring to others as well. The moment someone does it and gets some result, all the other people are going to feel inspired by it and start working towards it. So, like we all say, that we just need one person to initiate it. Sometimes we need someone as a pioneer, right? So, which gives us the confidence that, yeah, someone is doing this. Let's all try doing it. And that person is getting the results. So we can also try doing it. So that is what you by reflecting and by trying all these methods, you are not just helping yourself, you will be actually inspiring others to work towards it as well. Okay, next is group reflections provide insights to prepare for various situations. Like I said, sharing each other's experiences is going to help you out a lot. Each of you are going through several different experiences throughout your day. You all take a lot of classes, meet a lot of students, and all the students, I can assure you, don't behave in the same way. All the students behave a certain way with certain teachers. So sharing your experiences is going to help you get an insight as to how you can prepare for the upcoming days, upcoming classes, right? Reflexivity is viewing our thought processes, values, and actions as an onlooker. So an onlooker is a person with a bird's eye point, right? Point of view, bird's eye. So you are basically a third person when you are reflecting on yourself. You are not the first person there. You stand like, it's as if like you're standing in front of you and at a distance, and you are watching what all you are doing. That is reflection. At the end of the day, you should be sitting in the audience seat. And when you are thinking about your entire day, you should be an audience and you should think in that way. When you are an audience, you are a critique as well, right? You are a much better judge at that time. Like I said, it's much easier to say the strengths and weaknesses of some other person because you're watching that person. You'll have to be that person for yourself. So while reflecting, you should not be you should be the audience for yourself. That is going to help you. Next is reflective practice develops learning styles, problem solving skills. So problem solving skills is the key point here. Problem solving skills. Why? Because as you reflect, you go through discussions, we have discussed, you share your experience, you get feedbacks, which is going to help you get acquainted to different situations. Like I said, you all go through several experiences in your entire day. All of you are facing different students, different situations, different all these different experiences you are having. The more you share, the more you help your other colleague to be aware of, yeah, this can be something that you might face because I have faced this. So what do you do? Since I have faced this, now I can tell you that you can do this if you ever come across this situation, right? This is a very collective and very unified process that you have to follow. Even though reflection in itself is an individual thing, but in an institute, as teachers, as educators, it is a very unified thing. The unity is a part of it, a huge part of it. To reach to the end product, that is you reflecting on yourself, you have to actually go through all these things of speaking with your colleagues, sharing your experience with your colleagues, talking to your students from time to time, like, do you need anything more in the class? Do you want me to do something else in the class? Would you like to share something in the class? Student interaction is something that I encourage a lot, even though it's not put to practice that much in schools, but this is like a very, very important part. Students should also feel heard. Next is reflective practice develops learning styles, problem solving skills, and finally improves personal and professional judgment and adaptability. Adaptability again is something that comes from reflection, from sharing your experiences. The more you are aware of what kind of situations you can come up or you can face, the more adaptive you become to it. If you have a prior knowledge to, yeah, this I can face this. This is something that has already happened. Never happened to me, but has happened to someone in the same line. So I should be ready. You can be quick to adapt that since you know about it. Next is self-audit, self-growth goals, action plans. After you have shared all your experiences, after you have had this feedback thing with your colleagues, with your students, you can then set your plan, action plan, your growth goal. You set a goal and you set an action plan to reach that goal, right? A very nice long process, but something that comes with practice. The more you practice this self-evaluation, this reflection, the better you will be at it. Next comes vital for cultivating professional knowledge. I'm sorry, someone was. Okay. Yeah. Now, the second point is vital for cultivating professional knowledge gathered through experience. So you have to go through experiences, and then you'll have to actually learn from that experience. Like I said, just going through the experience, I mentioned this at the beginning of our session, just going through the experience and letting it remain as an experience is not something that will help you grow. You'll have to learn, you'll have to cultivate the knowledge that you have gained by living that experience, which is going to be reflection. Reflection is the thing that is going to help you achieve that. Teachers use reflective practice to analyze teaching methods and theories. So reflective practices are not just for your own self-growth, but you can actually help. It can actually help you with teaching methods and theories. Again, something that we already discussed when Priya ma'am shared her strengths and weaknesses. Like I said, she can foster to different ideas, and she can analyze different methods that she can put to use, and she can actually understand which method suits her the best. We all are individuals. A method that I follow might not be ideal for my fellow colleague, right? My fellow colleague might be better at executing some other idea. And there are innumerable ideas to follow in a classroom while you're teaching. So, because with days passing, we encourage new ideas, we are encouraging to incorporate new methods in teaching, right? Every day we try to find something interesting and something new. So there are n number of methods, but you should always go with the methods that suit you. You should not bend your ways, or you should not put yourself through some method just because it was very effective for some teacher. That teacher helped you by sharing her methods, but you should always be the best judge for yourself. Again, that particular method can have 2-3 branches. You should try to foster to each branch and then understand which one works best for you, right? Okay. Now, in order to practice reflection, teachers have to experience real life teaching where they are able to interact with students or learners, colleagues, and a variety of other people and gather many kinds of experiences. So, like I said, this is something very practical. Unless and until you're actually having a one-on-one conversation with people, I don't think it will help you to actually reach to the point where you can reflect on yourself. If you are aware of, no one can be aware of all the strengths and weaknesses one has. One can be aware of 5-6 things, but you can always get to learn more if you speak to other people. So you'll have to have real life experience of teaching, of talking to your colleagues and your students and other people in your organization as well, which is going to help you gather their experience and help you spread your experience as well, right? Okay. Does anyone have any question? I've been speaking for a long time. Does anyone have any question? Okay, I can see Devarpita ma'am has joined. Hi, ma'am. Oh, she left. I think there's some issue. Anyone, any questions? Anything that you would like to share? Any experience that you think relates to this particular thing? Because this is very practical. This is something which happens every day in class, which happens with us. And it is very real. This topic is very real. Okay, so I'll move forward. Now, the key points for in the importance of reflection here comes as, like I said, teaching is a challenging profession. So it keeps changing. You keep evolving, your students keep evolving, your batches keep evolving, the curriculum keeps changing, right? As well as your surroundings. So all of these things are very connected. That is why we are calling this such a challenging profession. Everyone has this particular idea that teaching gets boring after some time. It's very monotonous because you are teaching the same thing to the students, but it is so not true. The teachers who actually take classes can vouch for it that this is so not true. Every day is a new day, every day is a different day, and every day has so many new experiences in it. Children have moods, children evolve, they behave differently in different classes, and you as a teacher also keep evolving every day. You are trying to find new methods, you're trying to find new ways to reach out to your students, right? Commitment and dedication are very essential. This is something that you already know, and everyone, each one of us has already. Reflective practice will therefore allow teachers to modify their current teaching strategies, right? Analyze reasons behind learners' behavior and revisit the whole teaching and learning process. You can analyze why your learners behave that way. If you speak, if you contribute to a conversation with them, if you try to have a shared experience session with your colleagues, you can always analyze your situation, yourself, your students, which is going to just build your bond with them. education is not only about student learning, but also staff learning. Learning is a function of reflection. So earlier, like way earlier in the time, when there was a time when teachers were put on this pedestal. Teacher is next to God, and teacher is someone who is always right. Teacher has a blackboard, she's going to write something on it, and that is like stone carved lines for us. Nothing can budge it. Never wrong. Which is not very real, which is not very practical. Why not real? Because teachers are humans, right? Humans make mistake. So can a teacher. It was this unnecessary pressure that was built on this particular occupation of teaching, which is diminished nowadays, and which is absolutely amazing. That is why we are promoting this one-on-one talk with your students as well. Along with your colleagues, we are also encouraging the teachers to have a feedback session with your students. Ask your students openly, is there anything that you would like us to do better? Is there anything that you would like to share about the class? Because trust me, students nowadays are also very evolved, very fast. They have many ideas which can actually help classes. Does anyone have any experience where a student shared some feedback with you all in the class? Hi Amita ma'am, how are you? I was waiting to see your faces. I could recognize you all.
Yes, yes. Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Do you have any experience where a student has given you any feedback in your class? Ever, like, raised the hand and told that, ma'am, like, this is not right, this is something else. Can you speak up louder?
Yes, ma'am. Sometimes we play the video on YouTube or something else. So I find difficulty in volume. Somewhere it's volume connection. It's somewhere
Yes.
it is mistaken. So he will tell, ma'am, it is wrong. You have to do like that, like that. You have to do. Then it will come back again. Like that.
Exactly. So isn't that nice? Do you feel like I have to take help from my student? Oh no, right? You actually feel proud. I feel everyone should feel proud when a student helps you out and lets you know that, yeah, ma'am, this is how you do it. Because that actually that student is yours, right? Very, very close to you. Every student is very close to all of us. So learning from them should be a very proud moment to us. Learning from them, taking ideas from them. Like, for example, again, I'm going to give you a student perspective from me because I remember this. There was a teacher who used to teach amazing in our class. She was a science teacher, I remember. But her voice was very low. She was an amazing teacher, very good, very nice classes, but her voice was so low that we used to cram up in the front benches, 5 students in one bench where you are supposed to sit 3. We used to cram up and sit 5 because we were not able to hear what she was saying. But we were not able to tell anything. One day we spoke to our class teacher and told her that, ma'am, we love the teacher, but she speaks in a very low volume. Now our class teacher said that is her volume. Her voice is only low, and which is normal, which is natural, which is fine actually. It's our body, we can't change it. But we came up with a solution. Our class teacher came up with a solution. We bought a mic. The school bought a mic for the teacher, and then the classes were so better, so much better. So this is something that should be like a very all-round thing. Everyone should put their ideas, everyone should put their head to make it better. This school, the classroom is a very collective thing. It should not have a power dynamics in there. Teacher on a pedestal, students on the benches, class teacher on a higher pedestal. These power balances are what we are trying to break, right, through these reflective practices. Everyone should be free to put their ideas, to put their thoughts across, And trust me, the result that comes out is so effective, so better. Education is a continuous reorganization of experience. Like I said, you share your experiences. The more you share, the more everyone feels inspired, and everyone feels like, yeah, I should also share this. This is very unique. This will help others to be like prepared if they face that particular situation. Okay, now too many words in this slide, but this is actually just telling you the final steps. You have discussed with your colleagues, you have set a goal, you know the action plan to reach that goal. So now what happens when you are there when you are already like doing it, you have made it a practice. It helps you modify your teaching strategies. Reflective practice in many ways also help the students or learners get the best education that they are entitled to. Like I said, our teacher, once she started using the mic, we could actually hear a lot of things that used to like get lost because of her voice. So you are actually providing much better education as well to your students if you reflect on your things, if you let the students share their feedback. The students, you are ultimately reaching your goal of being a teacher. That is important. It helps analyze reasons behind learners' behavior. Learning is a function of reflection, because reflection is going to lead to better learning. That is why learning is a function of reflection. Interlinked. All of it is interlinked. Reflective practice builds expertise. Like I said, the more we gain the knowledge of others' experiences, we are going to gain the wisdom. We are going to gain the very practical wisdom that one needs of life in real life situations, how to handle those situations, right? So it builds expertise. You can actually put that expertise to use by helping your peers with time. It makes a positive difference to students and colleagues. Trust me, even if it sounds like sharing your experiences or taking feedback from your students might sound a bit tough in the beginning, because there are unexpected things that you might feel, you might get to know, but it is always going to bring out a positive result at the end, which is the main thing that we want to achieve, right? So no matter what you hear, no matter how the conversation goes, the end result is always going to be a positive one. You have nothing to lose. You in the process of learning, one has nothing to lose, I feel so. You can learn everything, each and every real life situation teaches us something or the else, right? Another way in which reflection helps you as a teacher is that it enables you to comprehend your student or learner's needs and potential. Like I said, if our teachers were very prompt to hear our needs, but there were some teachers who had this mindset that I am the teacher and I should not, my words are the last words. So there was a mix of it. I want that mix to be completely gone. I want this to be a very unified and very saturated thing in classes, where you put this environment, you make this environment out for your children where they can stand up and tell you that, ma'am, please speak up louder. I can't hear. Ma'am, please write bigger on the blackboard if you are writing, because I can't see. So these are very small things, but can help the student learn better, can help the student feel that, yeah, my words are important as well. I'm being heard. So now, reflection on experience can be for past action, for the present, as well as for future action. So this is a complete process. You reflect on your past action, which will help you to do or to try something out in the present. And when you have done it in the present, It is going to help you try something even better maybe for the future. So it is all connected. One experience, one reflective practice is going to help you go through your entire past, present, and future action plan, right? So in conclusion, reflective practice is essential for professional growth and better outcomes in education, right? So everything that I spoke about and that everyone heard is basically for our own betterment, but the betterment of the entire surrounding people around us in our organization. It is not just our betterment. Reflection, we started reflection by describing the word as something that we as an individual should start doing. But slowly, did you see how it became a community thing? It is going to help you, your students, your colleagues, everyone around you. So reflection is not just your individual thing anymore. It has a lot of other functions around it, which you can achieve, you can help others achieve if you start practicing it, right? Okay. So I'm going to summarize the key roles of a facilitator, the word that we started with, which is engage participation, encourage your children to participate, encourage your colleagues to participate in conversations, in sharing experiences, increase understanding, because the more you share, the more you hear, the better you will understand others' perspective. You'll have to be more inclusive of others' opinions as well. The last one is create and guide the group. Just like I said that you can form a group amongst your colleagues, you can also help your students form groups in classes for their own reflective practices. You can also encourage the students to start doing this reflective practices by forming small groups in your classrooms, right? Okay, now I have been speaking for such a long time. I would like someone to read this out, these three things. Do I have a volunteer? If not, okay, yes, thank you, Amita ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You are on mute.
Yes. Engage participation. First one is understand participants' learning style, use visual aids if possible, exercise different methods. Then second point is make everyone feel valued and comfortable to speak. Always consult for collective decisions. Third point is create small groups, encourage the silent and shy to get involved. Shall I continue, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. You can continue.
Yeah, increase understanding. First, rephrase and summarize the response. Second, write down the key points or question on the whiteboard. Third, check their perceptions and challenge their assumptions. Building and guide the groups. First, create group ownership and understand the group dynamics. Second, always refer to the learning objectives and manage the agenda. Third, delegation of work and sharing responsibility.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So I think these points are pretty clear, right? These three things are the key roles of a facilitator, you as a facilitator. So I'm just going to tell you once again. You are the facilitator of your students. That is, you have to provide a very safe and comfortable environment for your students. To do that, you'll have to reflect. You'll have to start reflecting on yourself. Now, these are the three key points that you can do as a facilitator in your class to help them achieve this reflection process, as well as make them feel heard, make them feel comfortable enough to speak to you openly, right? Okay, now we are going to discuss kinds of reflective practices. Three kinds: reflection in action, reflection on action, and reflection to action. Again, very simple from the words itself. Reflection in action is the ability of the practitioner to think on his feet at any given moment. So this is something which is your quick thinking. So reflection in action is when you face some unwanted or some new situation. If you are taking a class for the very first time, the students are new, you are new to them, you face this very new situation in front of you. Reflection in action is basically you thinking quick and you assessing your students quick. Even though the students are new, you won't, so you don't have the time to actually know the students. You don't know what their ways are, how they are going to react. You'll have to be quick. You start with an introduction. That is why we always encourage teachers to conduct some warm-up activity, to try to talk to the students, try to know them, ask them questions, which is going to help you think quickly in your class moving forward, right? And then when you once start taking their classes, you can always learn more about them. Next is reflection on action. This is the kind of situation when the practitioner, after the experience, gets to analyze their situation once it is over. So this is the reflection action that we are talking about. You take a class and then you try and walk yourself through the entire class. What happened? How did the student react? How did you respond to that reaction? Would it have been better if you would have tried something else? So what you do is, next is reflection to action. So once you have this one idea that maybe if I would have said something like this in that situation, it would have been different. You think in that way. So next you put reflection to action to use. Next day or next time you face the same situation, you try the other method that you did not try that day, right? So these are three things. One is thinking on your feet. Second is self-introspecting on your ways, how you taught. What are the other ways that you keep in mind? You can even jot them down in your journal. Journaling is something very effective, very tedious, very tough to maintain, but a very good practice. Maintaining a journal, writing down your points which you would like to practice, and then you put those thoughts to action next time you face the situation, right? Responding to problematic situations, problem framing, problem solving, and then priority. These are steps, basically. First, you face a problem and you respond to it, right? That is quick thinking, if you have to do it then and there. But what you can do is, if you face a problem, you can frame the problem. In reflective practice, you can frame the problem, which is you sit and you think what the problem is. You frame it properly. Yeah, this happened. This is the reason it happened. What led to the problem? Once you know what led to the problem, you can solve the problem accordingly. Once you know what the root, you can work on it. You should not get stuck because it happened. You should start thinking why it happened and what you can do to make it better, right? Always. Problems can always keep happening. Things keep happening. What you have to do is you have to roll with it. You have to find solutions to it. That is how you move forward. And priority. You should always know how to prioritize your situations. If something bad is happening and something good is happening, you should not put your entire focus on the bad thing, right? You should balance. You should know how to prioritize. You should solve problems. You might get 3 problems at the same time. You should know how to prioritize. You can not cater to all the problems at the same time, but you should have the perfect judgment to know which one needs your attention at the earliest, at the most urgent, right? So priority, knowing how to prioritize your problems will help you solve them better as well. Now, cultivate reflection and turn it into a habit. Like I said, first, this is going to be a gradual process that you might want to try. I'll suggest you start trying it, because this entire session is about a very real thing in our life. This is not some bookish studying that we are doing. Even though there are slides and there are lines, this is a very real thing. This is a very everyday, day-to-day thing that you are going to go through. So start doing it, and then it is going to turn into a habit, which is going to be a very good habit in your coming days as a teacher, as an educator, as a person. Even if you are not teaching, it is just going to be a very good habit in you building as a person. And again, we learned that this is not just going to help you, this is going to help your entire surrounding. Whoever is in your surrounding, whichever person, is going to be benefited by it. It's going to reflect. You reflect on yourself, that reflects on others as well, right? Now, types of reflective practice. There are some things that you can do. Maintain a diary or journal, like I said. A very, very difficult job to do, because obviously if you have this particular knack to write, it will happen. Yes, Vaishnavi and Krishna Veni ma'am, do you want to say something?
Ma'am, so sorry to interrupt, ma'am. We have a meeting with Chairman Sir now. So if you could let us know when this meeting will end, we could inform the same, ma'am.
Okay, so I am almost at the end of it, and then we have this short quiz for you all. So I think 10-15 minutes will be okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to quickly walk you all through this. Maintaining a diary or journal, taking a session through with a colleague, like I said, discuss with your colleagues, don't be shy. Creating your individual learning plan. Set a goal for yourself and accordingly set your plan. Do not, sharing experiences should be educational, should be informative, but you should not just blindly take others' ways and methods into yours. You are a different individual. You might have better ways. You might need other ways which are going to work better for you, right? So create your own individual learning plan. Creating a blog, peer observation. Creating a blog is similar to maintaining a diary or journal, whichever one you want to do. Peer observations. You can ask your colleagues to observe your classes. You can observe their classes and give them constructive criticism. Last is reading or listening to learners' feedback. That is, you can always have these sessions with your students from time to time, asking them about their feedback. You can create a form and ask them to fill it up, write their things, or you can just have an open conversation with them, right? Benefits of reflective practices. Like I said, this is a summation of the entire session. You are going to help yourself. You are going to help evolve your own teaching style, and you will know how and what to modify. You are going to help your learners get better education, better teaching. It is going to be a much greater effect. It is going to be greatly effective for you as a teacher when you are going to teach your students, and it is going to help you encourage new ideas and concepts to teachers. So when you share, since you are thinking about it, you are trying to find new ideas and concepts, it is going to be much better, and you can also help other teachers, inspire other teachers to find new ideas and concepts, right? Okay, so we are done with this part. Does anyone have any question? If not, then I'll ask Debjani to take over for the quiz. Thank you.
Thank you, Shreyasi, for a wonderful training session. And even I also got to know so many things and learned a lot from this. So I'm just quickly starting with the quiz. So
Ma'am,
this
before
quiz,
that, I have a small doubt, ma'am.
yes.
Ma'am, we were given a lesson plan.
Ma'am, your voice is
Like for
breaking.
this grade, we have to handle these lessons and all of those things. But when it comes to the training part,
Yes, it is.
is it okay, ma'am? Yes, ma'am. We were given a lesson plan kind of thing for every grade, and we have particular lessons to be taught to the students. But when it comes to the training session, it's all about self-development and reflection and stuff. So how are we supposed to handle classes for students? Is it the same way? Like even with the lesson, it is supposed to be their self-growth or something? Or how should it be handled, ma'am, for the students?
Okay, so as far as I understood your question is, you have been given some lesson plans and you would like to know how these training sessions are going to help you conduct the lesson plans, right? Okay, so basically we
Yes.
all know that you guys are all very good at your own subjects. So here we are not trying to teach you the subject matter, right? You all have the mastery and much knowledge about all the subjects and your own subjects. What we are trying to help you guys understand is how to conduct classes in a much informative and better way, how to help students, how to understand your students better, how to create bonds with your student, because uh, all of the teaching strategies nowadays are encouraging this practical learning, putting your learning to use. So we are actually conducting these sessions to help you create better environment in your classroom, help you create better action plans for conducting your classes, and how you can make your classes fun and interactive for your students.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, so let's start with this. So this is nothing but it is related to the topics that that Shreyasi had shared a lot of information on that. I hope my screen is visible. Is my screen visible to you?
It's not yet.
No, ma'am.
Is it not visible?
No, not yet. Yeah, now it is.
Okay. So our first question is, according to John Dewey, what do we primarily learn from? So you have to choose the correct answer from these options. Who would like to answer? First is theoretical knowledge, direct experience, observation of others, or reflection on experience. Anyone would like to answer, please? Absolutely right. D. So our next question is, what is the main purpose of reflection? Achieving perfection, identifying strengths and weaknesses, acquiring theoretical knowledge, or avoiding new experience? Absolutely correct. That is B. Sorry, I'm having some issues with this. I'm just sharing my screen again. Is it visible now?
Not yet. Yeah, now it is.
So next question is, which is the noblest way of gain wisdom? Can we have the answer, please? Is it experience, imitation, self-assessment, or reflection? Which is the noblest way of gain wisdom? Anyone who would like to answer? Okay, so the answer is option D, that is the reflection. Next is, what is emphasized as the outcome of reflective practices? Outcome of reflective practices. Is it the better experience, easy growth, success, or noble self-improvement? So what we aim for this reflective practices? Who would like to answer? So the answer is option D, which is noble self-improvement. Next is, what according to John Dewey is the source of learning? Anyone would like to answer? Amita ma'am, Devika ma'am, Sridevi ma'am. You can tell me this option. So we can go to this answer, that is option C, that is learning through direct experience and reflection. Next is, what is one of the essential uses of reflective practice? Am I audible? Shreyasi, am I audible?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Anyone would like to answer to this question? What is one of the essential uses of reflective practice? To discourage self-audit, to set growth goals and action plans, or to avoid real-life experiences, or to facilitate passive learning? So the answer is option B, to set growth goals and action plans. So next question is, what does reflective practice involve for teachers or educators? This is all about what we have learned, that is reflective practices. So which of these statements relate to this topic? Can anyone say? So I hope we can go to the answer part. That is option B, that is consciously pausing and reflecting on their teaching practices. Next is, what should be the nature of education and learning? So it is solely about student learning, or all about self-learning, or it is a continuous reorganization of experience, or a static process? So what, according to you, should be the nature of education and learning? So it is the answer C, which is the education is a, sorry, yes, the answer C, education is a continuous reorganization of experience. So next is, what is the role of teachers in education? So can anyone would like to say the option? So it is option C, both planning, highly effective learning, adapting, and reflecting the effective strategies. The last question is, what is learning? Is it a random process, function of memorization, a function of reflection, or a function of experience? Anyone would like to answer? Absolutely correct. So this was the quiz session, and thank you all for your participation till the end, and hope you all have learned something from this, and we just wish you the best, and to have this experience in your life and implicate this, the what is essential. So whatever the points that we have learned from this session, thank you so much. Thank you, Shreyasi. Thank you, Amita ma'am, Devika ma'am, and Sridevi ma'am.
It was lovely meeting you all again, and we are going to meet again soon. So yeah, till then,
Yes.
have
Bye.
good classes. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.